Hi crafty folks, Amy here, and today I have a fun critter card using a brand new layered stencil. Now this is the layered band stencil. It's one of the new stencils in the September release at A Colorful Life Designs, and I'm going to do some very simple ink blending on this card, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently to create a different and fun look. Now here's a photo of the finished card today. I was actually working directly on the card base and then just popped up the little focal points for some additional interest. So I'm going to start by using my Wendy Vecchi station tool and holding the first layer of the stencil down with my magnets. Now another option would be pixie spray, but these are pretty easy to work with. It's not flimsy or too delicate, so you can get away with just holding it down with some low tack tape or magnets if you don't want to use pixie spray. But I do want to come in with this mint tape just to kind of mask off the areas where I don't want ink. And like I said, I am working directly on a card base, so I want to make sure I'm not getting any extra ink on the back of this card base on accident. So I'm kind of trying to hold the panel still. But I'm just going to work through this first layer kind of as intended with various different colors. I'm actually just using residual ink on my blending brush at this point. It's more than likely ink from my Catherine Pooler mini ink pads because that's what I use the most. But I do want the color to be a little bit more muted rather than directly from the ink pad where it's going to be much more vibrant in color. So this is a good way to kind of clean my brushes as I go and turn it into a card. But I'm just going to speed it up and kind of work through the colors here, working down the panel and using that residual ink on my blending brushes. And those are blending brushes from the Rabbit Hole Designs. They were out of stock for a while, but I do believe they're back in the shop now if you're in the market for those. I will link them in the video description box below, as well as all the other items that are available. If you want to check those out, you can just expand that area and scroll down and you'll find the details. So I'm just kind of working down the panel, putting this low tack mint tape on the areas where I don't want there to be ink, and just kind of going through somewhat in rainbow order at this point, but not, obviously starting at the top of the rainbow. So I'm not really mindful here as I move on in the design of where colors overlap. I maybe could have done a better job with figuring out which colors are going to touch what other colors because I don't want to muddy it up, but honestly I was just having fun playing and not putting that much thought into it. I was just enjoying this layered stencil. So if you're not familiar, Mary Kay at A Colorful Life Designs, she's in Texas. It's a small woman-owned business. She manufactures all of her own stencils. She makes them herself. She works very hard, and I do have a coupon, so if you do want to shop for some stencils, be sure to use my coupon AmyFan10 and you'll save 10% on your complete order. So this looks super cool as is, but I decide I really want to kick up the design, and I take the second layer and then I rotate it. So it's kind of like this funky plaid almost. I probably could have come in a third time even and used it in even yet a different direction or kind of closer to some of the other slats. So this is a really versatile, fun sort of stencil that you can get a lot of mileage out of because you can use the layers on their own or use them together and flip them around and get all sorts of different looks. So I'm really not, like I said, not putting too much thought into it, just having fun playing, laying down these gorgeous colors that are left over on my blending brushes and basically cleaning my blending brushes as I go, win-win, right? To kind of create this fun background. And ultimately, because I'm working right on the card base, it's not going to have a lot of bulk or weight, so it'll be really easy to ship. Now here I'm coming in with the green, so it gets a little bit iffy as I'm overlaying the green with like the red and the orange and some of these warmer colors that it's not next to on the color wheel. So I could have potentially muddied it up a little bit there, but it ended up okay, and I'm okay with how it looked in the end. So just bear that in mind when you're overlapping colors. If they're not right next to each other on the color wheel, like if they're complementary across the color wheel, then they could kind of create a little bit more of a brown color or muddy it up. But in this application, just because the ink isn't very dark, it's kind of muted. It didn't really, it didn't muddy it up too bad, so it ended up okay. So here I'm just going to remove the magnets and remove this low tack tape to reveal the design. It's always just as exciting for me as it is for you, because you guys know I don't do any trial runs. You're seeing it, you know, as I'm seeing it here. So it looks really fun. It kind of created a whimsy, interesting background here. And then I have to decide how I want to finish the cards, so I get my critter book. This is my storage solution for my die cut or fussy cutout critters that I've already colored. So this is where I store these. I'm kind of looking at these cute dragons that would look really cute with the greens in the composition, so I'm considering that. I have a lot of dragon stamp sets. My daughter is big time into dragons, but now honestly she just draws all of her own dragons. So she used to kind of play with stamps a little bit, but she's such an amazing artist that she actually just, when she makes cards, she does her own little drawings. So I'm not that talented. She's way surpassed my ability in that way. So I rely on these adorable little stamps with art from other people. But I have this cute little pineapple. This is a MFT, or My Favorite Things stamp set. I don't know if it's still available, but if it is, I will link it as well below. But just kind of flipping through, this is my sentiment book now, figuring out what sentiment I want to use with this design. And I know one of my strips here, these are from LDRS Creative, I know one of them says something about sweet. So I thought, that's perfect for this little pineapple. So it says Sweet Wishes. These are stackable sentiments from LDRS Creative. Yet another small business. This business is actually in Michigan. And I kind of recently discovered them, and I love all of her sentiment strips because you stamp them all out in one go and die cut them all out in one go. So anything time saving like that, you know, I'm all about it with my card batching tendencies. So I'm just using little bits of foam tape here behind this cute little pineapple, and also those thin foam strips behind the little sentiment. I'm just going to assemble the card by removing the backer, kind of putting it in the center of the composition, right on the card base, and then put the little sentiment right below it, just to kind of give the little pineapple a place to land. And then I'll put this secondary sentiment with some liquid glue on the inside of the card. So super easy, quick critter birthday card. Came together in a snap. So I don't know if you need to donate cards or if you just need to bulk up your stash and have a bunch ready to go. But I find stencils amazing for that purpose. Super easy to create fun and interesting backgrounds, and create fun cards. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. And do be sure to check out the rest of the September release at A Colorful Life Designs. It is such a fun one. I absolutely love it. So thanks for joining me today. I'll catch you next time. Bye.